Welcome to this video guys. In this video we're going to see what are the steps we have to implement to complete this project. If you see, I have given a table of contents here. I will explain you what is the steps, and next video onwards we will execute each and every step. Okay, the first step is prerequisites and accounts. So to do this project we require certain kind of softwares like Node.js, AWS CLI, VS Code, and these are the some softwares we required. Along with that we require accounts. I mean AWS account, we require a root account and the admin account. This kind of stuff we required. So that is the first step. The second step is local machine setup and AWS account configuration. Once we're done with these things, and we have to set up the GitHub repositories, AWS configurations, we have to do whatever the accounts we have taken. Okay, once it is done, then we have to go with the project initialization. Okay, project initialization and folder structure creation. So we will discuss about these things. Next, along with the Node.js, we are using the TypeScript. So for this one we have to do certain configurations. So we will see how we're going to do that, and then we going to do a shared types. Okay, so we are using a microservices architecture using the lambda functions, but these particular lambda functions will share some functionalities like logging. So each and every function we have to do logging. This kind of some shared types we have to write here. And then we are going to deal with this CDK means cloud development kit. What this actually do is we will write a TypeScript kind of code to create our resource. Once we written, so when we go for the deployment, what it actually do, it will create a cloud formation template. From that template, in AWS real environment, these resources will be created with the settings configurations which we have written in our code. Okay, so for each and every resource, these are the resources currently we are using in our project: DynamoDB, S3, Cognito. Okay, this is for database, it is for file storage, Cognito for user management, lambda functions is real processing, you can say, functions, and API gateway is for exposing the APIs. Okay, these are resources we are using. Okay, once this is done, we will do the first deployment. So our real resources will be created in AWS environment. Once that is done, we will start coding each and every service. Actually we have 6 services. Okay, auth service, project service, worker service, material, progress, and dashboard. These all 6 services we will code. Okay, once this code is done, then we are going to deploy this one as well. But before going to deploy, two more things I want to explain, that is S3 pre-signed URLs. So we have discussed in the project, the supervisor have to take the photo of work in progress details, and you have to post those images, right? So for that we are giving the S3 pre-signed URL so that supervisor can post his image. And then Cognito user, for we have admin user, different kinds of roles we have, right? So these kinds of user management we will check in doing Cognito users, and user group setup, those things we will check here. And finally full deployment. Once this all things are done, so we will do what? Full deployment. Okay, once we deployed, so our entire development is done. So we will just check with the Postman and how it's going to be work, our APIs, how it's behaving, and then we will push entire code to GitHub repository. Of course in each step I will push the code to Git repository, but this is the one where entire code base will be available to you. Okay, so now once it is done, then CI/CD pipelines and environment separation, what it actually is. See, if you work for a middle level company or top level company, what will happen, they will have a different environments, development environment, staging, UAT, production. Okay, these kinds of environments they have maintain. Okay, so each and every environment they have high level setups, different configuration of environment, I mean environment variables they will keep. But of course this is the only configurations, the code is same for all the environments. Okay, so for if you work with a low level company, startup, you don't need to set up all the CI/CD pipelines, these things, because it will cost a lot. Okay, in big companies they already have the process set up, and they have a specifically DevOps engineers to do this kind of stuff. Okay, for now you can directly deploy from here and we are good enough. And coming to the CloudWatch and monitoring, what it actually is, let's suppose you have deployed the code but you got some issues. So what you have to do, you have to check why this issue is came. So you have to go to the logs and check why and where this exactly issue is came. Then you can debug this and you can fix the problem and you can redeploy. And 28 one is the cost control. So we are using the couple of resources, then you should know about the cost, why we use the resources, what's the better way. Okay, these things we will discuss, and cost controls. And finally checklist, that is nothing but just a wrap up video. So what are the things we have done and what is the better things we can do further. Okay, this is all about this project plan and structure. So next video onwards we going to execute one by one. Okay, each step I will show you how we can do this, and then finally we will do the wrap up. Thank you for listening. In our next video, let's execute one by one.